Today, we're going to be going over the Ross Carbonite black switcher that we use here in our control room at Bates Technical College. This video will cover the basics needed to operate the board regardless of what production we are doing. This video will apply to most switcher panels you will find in the industry as well, as all boards operate very similarly. Let's start with a quick overview of the board. The left side of the board is our bus map. It is where you will find preview buses, program buses, delegation buses, key type buttons, key selections, auxiliary selections, and macro selections. To the right side of the bus map, you will find the transition panel. Starting from the left, we have our key hotkeys. These consist of keyer transition buttons, the key source, and keyer cutting buttons. Note that pressing these buttons will directly put the key on program, so make sure to use these buttons sparingly. To the right of the hotkeys, we have key selection menu, transition type, roll clip, cut, auto transition, and the fader bar. On the board itself, we have two bus maps and two transition panels. Here in our studio, we only use the bottom one due to hardware limitations, and the productions that we do not require use of the top board. At the top of the switcher, you will find menu selection buttons, main menu display and selection knobs, menu navigation buttons, and a joystick used for DVE modifications. Now that you know where everything is located on the board, let's go over how everything works. Let's start with the most basic functions of the board. When a button is lit up red, it means the source is on program. When you select the source on the preview buses, it will put that source on preview on your monitor. When you press cut, it will take whatever you have on preview and take it on program. You may hear directors say, ready cam 1, take cam 1, or ready cam 5, take cam 5. This refers to pressing the source on the preview panel and then pressing the cut button when they say take the camera. Note, not all directors use these terminology, but here for our productions, we mostly use those words. If the director says transition or mentions a certain type of transition, you press the auto trans button, which will transition preview to program based on the transition type you have selected. While we are talking about transitions, you can find them on the right side of the board on the transition panel. Starting from the left, we have dissolve. If a director isn't happy with the duration of the effect or it's not set properly, you can change the effect duration in the top left corner of the board using the menu selection buttons. Next, we have wipe. To set the type of wipe that is needed, use the same menu buttons in the top left side of the board to select the type of wipe transition. We also have DVE, or Digital Video Effect. This is used for more specific types of transitions, which you can select using the same menu buttons. For more effects, use the menu navigation buttons. Lastly, on the far right side, we have the Media Transition. This is used for custom transitions that can be imported and edited in our GUI system. We will cover the GUI system in a separate tutorial video, as there is too much information to condense into this video. While we are here on this side of the board, we can cover how the keys work. First, let's go over the hotkeys. We have keys 1 through 4 in a vertical line, all with cut and auto trans buttons. In a little screen in the center, it shows what source is selected for the key. If you press key 1 cut, it will directly cut that key onto program while highlighting key 1 on the key selection. If you press key 1 auto, it will transition that key to program based on what type of transition you have selected. This way is the easiest and simplest way to put keys onto program. However, not all boards come with this feature standard, so we will also go over how to use the keys themselves. To start, make sure you have your background selected. If you select, for example, key 2, it will put key 2 on preview. To bring in the graphic, You can either make preview and program the same source and press cut, or you could deselect the background layer and press cut as well, and it will bring in the key without interfering with what is on program. Just make sure to reselect the background after the key is on program, or else you won't be able to cut between program sources. To remove the key from program, press the key, deselect the background, and you can cut or transition out the key as desired. It will put it on preview, where you can reselect your background and deselect the key to remove it entirely. To change what the key is assigned to, you can use the key selection buttons. Press which key you want to change into delegation panel to select what key you want the source to be. In between the key hotkeys, you can see the source to what the key is assigned to, and it will also lit up white to show it is selected on the bus map. The auxiliary selections work the same way, except rather for keys, it's for out sources, such as our video wall here in our studio. The last thing we are going to go over is DVEs. To edit or create a DVE, make sure you have DVE selected as the key type. You can then select which key you want to make changes to. At the top of the board, you should see X, Y, and Z coordinates. This shows where the key will show up on a preview monitor. We can use this for our productions such as Game On for Facecams and over-the-shoulder graphics for Student eNews. You can change the position using the knobs or the joystick found on the top of the board. If you make a mistake or want to reset your DVE, you can double press each knob and it will default back to full screen. I know we went over the information really fast, and I know I just gave you a lot. But the best way to learn how to do something is to get your hands on the equipment and play around with it for yourself. This video just went over the basics of what you need to know how to do to operate the board, but there's many other things that you can learn that I simply can't cover in this video without playing around for the board yourself. I've spent many hours sitting here in our control room playing around with it myself, learning as much as I possibly can. My name has been Jacob Steinberg here at Bates Technical College.